It was a true story, and this incident happened in 2014. An earthquake and tsunami struck and nearly 3,000 people died. It was the greatest destruction of the world from what humans understood. The story recap begins with a demonstration of a family who is going to Thailand for the Christmas holidays. The family includes head Henry and his wife and 3 of his children. They were on a plane at the time, and Henry's wife doesn't like traveling by plane. She felt scared, and that's why her son makes fun of her. Well, after arriving in Thailand, they stay in a beautiful hotel in Thailand. This is where visiting families stay. There is a beautiful beach in front of them. The scene was quite amazing. The next day, when he gives them gifts, they like the toys. Everyone was quite happy, and then the whole family went to the beach, and they all went to the sea and had fun. Later, 2 days passed while he was living there. On the 3rd day, Henry receives a call from his office, and he is informed that one of the employers is being dismissed from the office, and his name will be revealed soon. Henry replies that we came here to celebrate our holidays and our children are quite happy. When he says that, he goes to play with his children. Later, he sees many birds together in the sky going to another place. The earth suddenly begins to shake, and any big problem is on the way. Later, a large tide comes from the sea and moves quickly after destroying everything. He took everything under his control. Water and destruction could be seen everywhere. It was actually a tsunami, a storm in the sea. It hit this place and it was destroyed everywhere. So she can't flow with the running water, and she was looking for her family around. She called them but couldn't find them anywhere. There was water everywhere, taking people and their luggage with it. By swimming, he begins to quickly approach his son. Later, fate will favor them and they will see each other. His mother was near the bushes and he was wrapped around a pole nearby. After hugging each other, they start crying a lot. Then they gradually begin to move with the flow of water. Then they stay in the place where there was some water. We have now learned that Luca's mother has deep wounds on her feet, from which she bled, but she won't tell her son about it, because she doesn't want her son to be sad or worried. His mother holds his hand. So I don't want to lose you, but he says nothing will happen to me. I'll be back after I save him, and we should help people who need it. And his mother was after him. He puts a little child on a tree, and he also tries to put his mom on a tree, but she could not climb the tree. Her injury was very painful and bleeding profusely, and she had quite a problem with climbing. But Lucas somehow manages to climb a tree on her. Now the 3 of them were waiting for the rescue team to come and save them. Later we see a scene around them that was horrible, for there was destruction everywhere. After some time, villagers come nearby and saw them, and start taking them. When they reached the hospital, they found that there were many injured people. There is no place to sit because the whole hospital is full. There was a news broadcast on TV that a tsunami had hit there, which spread destruction everywhere, and he made many people his victim. Lucas's mother was in quite a bit of pain, so she asks Lucas to give her a painkiller. It hurts. Later, he finds a painkiller at the store but can't find it, and after cleaning her leg he bandaged it. She starts throwing up because when her water was running, the pollution along with the water was also gone inside her stomach. Then a man comes there who was quite nervous and sad. Lucas then walks up to him and the man shows him his family photo, and he asks about them and realizes that together with me, they all lost their families. In finding their families and reuniting them, their address and the country they are from on a piece of paper. Later, Lucas finds an injured boy who was alone and finds his family. And this was the child of the man who first asked Lucas for help. By showing his family photo to reunite the child with his family, both son and father were quite glad to meet, and cried as they hugged each other. Seeing them hug makes him miss his dad too. He later goes to the place where his mother was held, but after reaching there he sees that his mom is not there. Another patient lies in her place, and he's getting pretty worried about it. Seeing him crying, the nurse comes to him. Lucas tells her that my mom was there in bed and now she's not here. Later, the nurse asks Lucas if he knows the number or name of any of his relatives, who we could contact and call them here, and they could take you from there. But I forgot his contact number. When the nurse hears this, she places a number sticker on his shirt. Lucas was quite worried and started crying because he thinks his mother died. That's why I can't find her and she may be buried. Later we see a scene of the hotel where Henry was staying with his family. Lucas's father is shown here, not dead but alive, but badly injured. He gets up and looks around at his family, calling out to them. It obviously has no response because no one was there. Helicopters had now arrived to take people away after rescuing them. But Henry doesn't want to go because he wants to find his family by any means. He doesn't want to go without taking them. He gets to the hotel and finds his family, where he remained and was quite injured, and falls after being hit by something. As he lies, he calls his family again. Both of his children begin to see him from the broken roof. They were alive and now 3 of these fathers and sons have met again. The children hurriedly approach their father. Henry tells them, "My sons, you can ride this helicopter. I'll come later when I get your mom and your brother Lucas." His youngest son innocently asks, "Dad, I want to live with you. I don't want to go, I'm quite scared." But Henry explains them and sends them back from there. He later starts looking for his wife and son Lucas. Searching at night, it turns out, but his son and wife were nowhere to be found. He was quite hurt. Later, as he walks down the road, a car drives in front of him. When he sees Henry quite injured and bleeding a lot, they take him to a camp where wounded people were being treated. There he meets a man who has been sitting hopelessly. He also lost his family and says, "I was in a hotel when my family was at sea. I haven't found them since the tsunami hit there." Henry also tells him that my wife and son also lost. "I also find them, but I don't know if they are alive or not." In fact, it was all the people who were sitting there and lost their families, because the tsunami was quite dangerous, so no one knows if their families are alive or not. They were sad and missing their family. Their pain was visible on their faces. The boy in front of Henry says to him, "I have a phone and I have been saving its battery. If my family is alive and tries to contact me, I could contact them." Now Henry takes the phone from him, and after calling his dad, he tells him, "I lost Lucas and my wife in the tsunami and I came to find them. I can't find them. There are 2 guys who are with the team. I will not give up. I will find them and bring them home." She gets upset while talking and starts crying. The boy calms him down, and after a moment of rest, Henry leaves with the boy, who gave him the phone so he could find his family, wife and son. Now we see Lucas, and the nurse comes to him and shows him some luggage. He could thus recognize which luggage belonged to his family. When he sees the luggage, it does not belong to any of his family members. He was now taken to a room where there was no one but his mother. She was not dead, but alive, and when Lucas sees his mother, he feels relaxed and hugs her. But his mother's condition was not good but worse than before. She had oxygen in her mouth. Lucas sits next to her and says, "To promise you'll never leave me alone." Now Lucas is informed that your mom actually needed surgery, so we moved her from there. Her message was exchanged by mistake, so we can't tell you about her. Now your mom needs surgery, then he'll probably be fine. There, Henry and his companion begin to find their families. One by one they go to each camp and hospital, where people were held but could not find their families. Now Henry comes to the hospital where his wife and Lucas were. Lucas' mom asks him, "My son, go get me water. I'm pretty thirsty," and then he goes out to get water for mom, where his father was also, and they were near each other. But unfortunately they can't see each other. Now Henry starts going to where his wife is, but she was behind a curtain so he couldn't see her. So he thinks that his family is not here, so he starts walking away from there. Then Lucas, who was fetching water, after seeing his father, he recognized him from behind. When she sees him, she starts running towards him. By then, his father is lost in the crowd. In fact, there was a huge crowd of people. Now Lucas begins to find his father everywhere, but he has not found him. In the meantime, a truckload of children who were taken away after the rescue also arrives, in which Lucas' brothers were also in and got out of the truck. Lucas goes after them, but they don't see each other. Unable to find their families, they get back into the truck. Now Henry also starts getting into his truck. The whole family was around, but they couldn't see each other. He searched a lot for his father when he couldn't find him. After being fed, he starts calling his dad loudly. His 2 brothers hear this voice. They saw Lucas, and after getting out of the truck, they immediately start coming to their brother. 3 of the brothers hug each other and are very happy. Later, he sees his father coming from the front, because he saw them and heard his voice. Now they are reunited, so they are happy. The man who was with Henry looking for his family, he asks the driver, "Should we go, because we're not taking Henry with us?" Because he found his family. And then they go to Lucas' mom. Her condition was not good. She meets her husband and tells him that my condition is not good and I probably won't survive. Henry calms her down and asks her not to give up. "You will definitely survive. We will pray for you and stay together as a happy family forever." They become emotional when talking and their eyes become moist. She was later taken for surgery. There was another woman who had just undergone surgery. He tells her, "I am fine now. I have to use full power last time, so I can find my family, and you don't give up either. Your operation will be fine." And after a while her operation has started. Meanwhile, she remembered the time when the tsunami hit. She thought that such destruction had spread and there was nothing we could do, because it is true that humans are helpless and weak in front of nature. For one thing, she was in surgery and out. Her family prayed for her. In this way the whole night passed, and the next morning, Henry comes to his children and tells them that your mom's surgery is successful and that she is fine now. And soon we will return to our domestic son, and the next day a man will come. He came there to take the whole family. Now they board the plane and Lucas comes to his mother, and he says to her, "My dear mother, I will always stay with you. How you are with me, and we will not be separated from each other. Remember that kid we saved first. He also found his family." When his mother heard this, she said to him, "My son is quite good and brave. I'm proud of you and can't believe we're back together." Saying this, she hugs Lucas and starts crying after being emotional. Later he sees the terrible outside view from the plane. There was destruction everywhere and everything was destroyed. Henry also prayed for the man, that he will get his family who helped Henry find his family. He also gave him his cell phone, because he hadn't found his family yet, they were missing. Their bravery, kindness, and love brought this family back together. Similarly, they wanted everyone to get their family. Everyone loves their family and does not want to lose it at any cost. We can understand how important our family is to us. You don't exist without them. Without family, you have no importance. Along with that, you should have kindness and empathy. You should always be there for others. We learned all this from this family. It was a true story, and this incident happened in 2014. An earthquake and tsunami struck and nearly 3,000 people died. It was the greatest destruction of the world from what humans understood. No matter how strong and powerful one becomes, before nature he is weak and small, so we should not play with nature. We shouldn't even think about it. It means that we should not change it according to our will. We should accept everything as God made it and live with it. Because if we play with nature and don't accept things as God made them, and we will be ungrateful, then we will face the worst results, and the movie recap ends with that.